Beware Gotham Knights, perched in granite and lime, the worst DC show of all time. It watches you at your hearth, it watches you at your bed. Watch not 1 second of it, or you'll want to send a talon for your own head. Welcome to the classroom. After the success of Smallville and the ending of it in 2011, DC and the CW got to work on a new, vast entertainment project. The late 2000s and early 2010s of the comic book world was defined by Marvel running up the box office with the MCU, while DC and Warner Brothers tried to figure out what to do about that. Introducing the Arrowverse on the CW, starting with Arrow, a Batman show starring Green Arrow. Onto The Flash, Supergirl, Tomorrow Legends, Black Lightning, Batwoman, Second Batwoman, and not Gotham Knights. So why the hell am I talking about those shows?
You say that like you have a choice.
While Gotham Knights, the series, may not be directly connected to the CW's Arrowverse, it is in the spirit of it. Dimly lit action scenes, poorly adapted comic storylines, romances every which way, 5 sets maximum, truly insane dialogue.
You've shown a great deal of promise.
The Court of Owls told me the same thing.
And yet they underestimated you.
Gotham Knights, the series, is 13 episodes of, at times, below CW quality comic book soap opera storytelling. The middling highs and titanic lows of an Arrow or a Batwoman pressed down into a 1-by-1 season of factory-made TV, the televisual equivalent of old Spam. And I kinda liked it. While I have and will continue to rag on it, the CW's Arrowverse was a formative part of my childhood TV life. I was a rabid fan, catching The Flash every Tuesday and Arrow every Wednesday, until season 3 of The Flash, when I realized
the one thing Black Flash can't fight, cold.
Oh shoot, this is bad. But now with my somewhat adult mind, I would love to delve back into many of these CW shows. But thank God for early cancellation, because we are starting with yeah, it's a little hard to get footage of this show, bear with me. You can look up Gotham Knights the series, Gotham Knights the show, CW's Gotham Knights the show, the series. It doesn't matter, you get the game. Gotham Knights is led by Turner Hayes, the orphan son of 3 Gothamites, his lame-ass parents, and Batman. He has been accused of the murder of his own adoptive father and is forced to go underground, but actually above ground, finding 4 to 6 young adults with equally dramatic problems going on and form a vigilante group. His Gotham Academy bestie, Stephanie Brown, boy-girl siblings by force, Cullen and Harper Row, now unemployed Robin, Carrie Kelly, and Duella no last name. This season very loosely adapts the Court of Owls saga by Scott Snyder and Greg Capullo, and weirdly a little bit of the Dark Knight Returns. Go check out my video on that.
Don't call us a gang. Don't call us criminals. We are the law.
Unfortunately, the mutant gang here, even though they are holding who ends up being most of the court hostage, are both lame and unimportant. A red visor herring who don't even say sick stuff like Billy Berserk or Slice and Dice 'em. The first few episodes after the opening murder of Bruce Wayne use the threat of the mutant gang to bring all of our characters together, before the plot begins in earnest for the final 10. Now obviously, this show is bad. The characters, for the most part, are the absolute worst of CW soap opera teens, with conflicts picked out of a hat to get in the way of the plot and the rarely enjoyable dialogue. Harper starts a one-sided beef with Stephanie for being rich and saving their lives. Turner randomly decides to start his CW angst era while the plot is kicking up, and Duella always has to be doing crazy. But not only do even the most annoying of the characters have some pretty funny lines, there is one character I actually enjoyed watching the whole time.
Really? Because your birth certificate says you were born.
Don't use his dead name.
Fine. I got another dead name for him. Bruce Wayne.
Ford. Take a walk.
Fuck out my way when you see me. I'm rolling with the LGBT. Fuck out my way when you see me. I'm rolling with the LGBT.
Seemingly, the budget for this show was just big enough that if they completely cheaped out on every fight scene, set, sound, and special effect, and even the title card, they could hire one actual actor. Castiel. Misha Collins plays District Attorney Harvey Dent trying to catch the killers of his former friend Bruce Wayne, and later running for mayor. So all we know for a fact that this Batman did is kill the Joker, not fight Two-Face, and then die. Even when the show is in its worst doldrums in the last few episodes, Misha is always entertaining to watch, especially when he starts being evil.
Hiya, Harv. It's me. You. The other you.
And with people fan casting Jensen Ackles as the DCU's Batman, let's just cast Misha Collins as Two-Face again. And then they can make out. I was a Supernatural fan back in the day. Go Kansas. Woo! Speaking of Batman, he's actually one of the biggest issues with this series, even without being there. Thanks, Bruce. So much of the emotional weight of this series isn't just on the painfully boring shoulders of Turner Hayes, but are on the 6 feet deep ones of Batman. I love Batman. He may be the single character I've read and seen the most stuff of, but this Batman is a stranger. I don't know this Bat Corpse Man. So when Turner is up in the Gotham Academy belfry and wondering like, oh man, would Bruce be proud of me? Not only do I not care, but I don't know, man, your guess is as good as mine. You didn't seem to know him that well. Didn't even know he was Batman. Loser. Okay, time for a positive again. I guess that's what I'll call this.
The night he was killed, this was found on your father. Apparently it's a 6th century Athenian coin. Does it mean anything to you? Anything at all?
No.
The Court of Owls is such an incredibly compelling idea that even after 3 horribly shitty adaptations in Gotham, Gotham Knights, and Gotham Knights, they're still pretty cool. Now, or what is the Court of Owls? A cabal of wealthy and powerful individuals in Gotham society who have been running the city from the shadows since its inception. The Court is, without a doubt, the most popular Batman villain introduced in the past 20 years. But, in my opinion, they have never ever lived up to their first appearance. They don't even live up to their first appearance by the end of their first comic, so... To start with the positives, I actually do like how the extent of the Court's influence is portrayed in this show. Kinda. Stephanie Brown's dad is the host of Quiz Bowl, a celebrity game show, which is why Stephanie is so good at hacking. Don't worry about it. Her mom, however, is suffering from a chronic injury that they either don't explain or I forgot, both are possible, and has a pill addiction to deal with it, and deal with the fact that she's married to this guy. The Court uses this and the GCPD to get Stephanie's dad sent to prison and try to get her to turn on the Gotham Knights towards the end of the season. While the action from the Court may not be good, they can't even make the Talon's eyes fucking yellow, this is the kind of threat they can actually pull off convincingly well. I just hope her dad doesn't become Clue Master in Season 2. Man, I haven't talked about something this bad in like a while, and it's hard to write one of these when my brain is like actively trying to forget what I watched. I really need some sort of structure if I'm gonna keep doing this. Your Turner Hayes is the absolute pinnacle of a CW leading male character. He is a good guy who wants to do the right thing, but he's real angsty about it. He's like if Riverdale's Archie Andrews were more boring. He's like if Arrow's Oliver Queen was more unpleasant. He's like if Supernatural's Dean Winchester was less handsome. Dean is perfect. He is a suitably below passable protagonist who never expresses joy or excitement in any way, just stoically pursuing the plot. He's more similar to like a car than a character. His biggest question across the season, besides why is my second dad dead, is why didn't my second dad pick me to be Robin? But I have a better question. Why would he? Sure, Turner is pretty good at fencing, as shown in one scene, and obviously being one of the better fencers at a private academy means you're fully equipped for deadly street fighting. With guns. It's good that the goons in Gotham Knights are the type of people to like die slipping on a banana peel or falling down an open manhole cover. They're like barely sentient. While Turner may be the main character, the one always in the center of posters with his signature katana, Duella is clearly the one they wanted to be popular. Duella, no last name, is the daughter of the Joker, and like how Harley Quinn has sold more merchandise than the GDP of some nations, I have a suspicion that the CW was hoping something similar would happen with Duella. Her actress, Olivia Rose Keegan, is probably the most entertaining to watch out of any of the main cast, besides Harvey, and is one of the only characters who can deliver the insane dialogue in a way that at least makes me laugh.
And you two came in here hugging yesterday's wardrobe.
Not really anybody's business.
Guess who took a ride on the Batwing?
Oh, she's also Harvey Dent's kid, so that's cool. Being entertaining in this series is genetic, I guess. Before Gotham Knights even came out, one of the most hated elements of it was the casting of Carrie Kelly. I wonder why. Carrie Kelly is totally fine in this show. I really like Carrie Kelly in The Dark Knight Returns, but Carrie here is a perfectly acceptable character when compared to the rest of the show. She has a good enough plot between her and her mom dealing with Carrie being Robin and working with the Gotham Knights, and is just likable enough. Also, so hear me out, we already know that Batman, the Joker in this series, and whenever Carrie hits any goon with one batarang, they instantly go down. Leading me to the only conclusion there is. These batarangs are poison-tipped. Harper and Cullen Rowe are siblings who grew up in one of the many terrible Gotham neighborhoods and make up at least 50% of the gay acronym. Harper is pretty annoying. She is probably my least favorite member of the Gotham Knights. God, I hate calling them that. She has a very generic conflict with Stephanie where she's mad about her saving her life because she thinks that Stephanie thinks that she's better than her. Girl, you are not Bakugo. However, it does evolve into her and Stephanie kindling a gay romance. Girl, you are Bakugo? Cullen Rowe, however, is actually pretty funny. Every CW action show needs a few roles to be filled. There needs to be a fighter, a hacker, ideally a crazy one, but Cullen gets to be the theater kid. He, makes little props for them, he does voices, and even gets to break into the GCPD playing John Bernthal's character from hit HBO drama We Own This City, about the corruption of the Baltimore PD and Gun Trace Task Force Unit, of course. Please watch a show for adults.
Hey look, when you guys get done with this bullshit, come on up.
Tyler DiChiaria is really funny in this role when the show lets him be, and just comes across as stressed out really well, which is really helpful for selling the stakes of whatever scene. I am not talking about Brody. So generally, I like to talk about good things, things that I like, which isn't always ideal for the YouTube algorithm because the internet is a hell pit sustained by hatred, but sometimes you need to feed the hell pit, and it's nitpick time, baby. Okay, easy one right off the bat, one I already mentioned actually, the talons. I wasn't expecting them to be cool, but man, having their eyes not be yellow it takes away so much from their silhouette. Speaking of the court, this is such a specific nitpick, but for some reason, they add this stone sound effect to the court's masks whenever they scrape against something, and it makes them sound like way heavier than any mask should be. You would have crazy neck problems if you wore these. Have I lost the plot? Never mind, I found the plot again, because having the Court of Owls be the personal project of one immortal person is like a perfect way to ruin them as a concept. It's fascinating. The intimidating thing about the court is their anonymity, their wide influence. They're so much larger than any one person. So having one person, the CEO and founder of the court, still be the only one in charge at the end is so uncool. And they got this huge, evil-looking guy to play Lincoln March 2, but they don't have him be the weird version of Owlman from the comics. I don't even like that twist, but they just don't do anything with him. You know, I actually thought while I was watching this show, I wish I were watching Arrow. I haven't thought that in like a decade. There's an episode that's called Dark Night of the Soul, but it doesn't even take place during the Dark Night of the Soul. The Dark Night of the Soul for this story comes in episodes 10 and 11. I know they're trying to be clever, but it's not, and it's pissing me off. There's also absolutely no reason for them to be called the Gotham Knights. First off, there's a reason why that's usually the name of like the football team or something, because it's generic. Second off, I am going to list all of the reasons for why they would be called the Gotham Knights. Number 1, they live in Gotham. Another nitpick. The main hangout hub for the Gotham Knights is the attic/belfry of Gotham Academy, a private academy in Gotham, the private academy in Gotham that Bruce not only sent his adoptive son to, but Robin, who he actually loves. Before any mission for the Knights, there is a lot of dialogue dedicated to Stephanie and Harper disabling cameras, floor sensors, getting rid of automatic locks and alarms, all that stuff. On the other hand, they never ever have to deal with this problem in Gotham Academy, a private school in Gotham, outside of unlocking one door to get into the attic belfry apartment thing. And I know that people gave this show a lot of crap when it was being announced for not using one of Bruce Wayne's actual children, adoptive or otherwise, and deciding to invent their own. Well, I am extremely happy that this show didn't try and do an adaptation of any more characters than it already chose to. The less, the better. This show not really having a Bruce or an Alfred or a Joker or a Commissioner Gordon, I never even thought about him, just means they can't drag these characters down into the CW mudhole. At least the Batman character they decided to adapt the most faithfully, Harvey Dent, they decided to get a charismatic actor for. And the Two-Face makeup actually isn't half bad. See, half because of the... But the funniest thing about Gotham Knights, by far, is the note that it leaves the season on.
My name is Henri Ducat.
Mr. Henry,
You remember?
what am I doing here?
I'll teach you. Everything I know.
What about my life in Gotham?
You don't have one anymore.
And my friends?
Everyone you knew thinks you're dead.
Aww. They thought they were getting another. Binging this show was a real blast into the past, not just because a Court of Owls story always has to be about the past, just like any other Scott Snyder comic book, but because of the channel it was on, the CW. If you guys like this video, I'd really like to cover some of the other CW DC shows. Not just the Arrowverse ones either, but I heard Stargirl was actually pretty good, and I've only heard great things about Superman and Lois, so that would be really fun too. Or I can watch Arrow and The Flash, if you guys want to hurt me. Y'all, do not watch Gotham Knights. Go watch one of the other DC live-action shows, go watch one of the Marvel ones, hell, even go read the original Court of Owls comic. Just do not watch CW's Gotham Knights. But that is the video for this week, y'all. I got a really cool, this like old Athenian owl coin in the mail, so I'm gonna go pawn that off. I'm really excited. I'll see y'all next time. Goodbye. Hey everyone, thank you so much for watching that video. If you made it to this point, a double thank you as always. Thank you so much. Yeah, Gotham Knights is really not good, but I kind of wanted to break into these CW shows as a thing for my channel, you know, and see if y'all like that. In other comic book news, Kristen Ritter as Jessica Jones just got announced that she will be reappearing in Daredevil Born Again Season 2. I am so excited. I love that character, and I think that I was already leaning towards this, because Jessica Jones is my second favorite of those Marvel Netflix shows. But it's so funny how it's like, yeah, the top three are like, Daredevil is perfect, Jessica Jones and Luke Cage are both really good, and then there's like a Titanic gulf, and then Iron Fist is down below that gulf somewhere. But yeah, I think I'm gonna make a Jessica Jones at least Season 1 video, see how we'll go from there. The thing that makes me most hesitant too is the Purple Man. David Tennant's the Purple Man is so scary. He's like probably he's one of the scariest like MCU villains ever. He's horrifying. I don't like that guy. I'm not excited to spend time with him again. But yeah, for my collection this week, not anything new. So, I'll see y'all next time. Goodbye.